What's up guys, Mr. Scanlon here, and welcome back to another video in the After Effects Basics tutorials. This is going to be the last video um, of these basics tutorials because at this point I think you guys have a pretty good handle on how After Effects works. I covered everything that's you need to know just to get the ball rolling and to see some of the better tutorials that are going to be on Andrew Kramer's VideoCopilot.net website. If you guys ever want me to do something specifically, show something specifically in a video, and add it to the collection, I'd be more than happy to do that. Just let me know in class, and I will get right on that. But in this tutorial, we're going to be talking a little bit about programming in After Effects. Now, it's not as bad as it sounds. I know some of you guys went to the art side simply to avoid some of the more difficult concepts in computers, but programming in After Effects is very, very, very easy, and I'm going to show you just exactly what you can do. So before we talked about maybe taking this and moving around, like maybe you wanted this to kind of like shake a lot or something like that. And what you could do is you could set like the keyframe of the position here, and then just like move it here, and then like maybe move over like a frame or something, just barely, and then move it up here, and then maybe another frame and move it there, and then this frame, and then maybe move it like down there, and maybe you get like kind of like a cool movement going on there. But that's a real pain. That's a lot of keyframes that you have to keep adding in to get a shake effect. There's a much easier way to do it, and it's with a little bit of because like programming magic. You're going to basically be applying a function. It's called the wiggle function to this position frame here, and you can do this on basically any keyframe. So we're going to go to this position, and I'm going to hold Alt and click on this keyframe on the position. I think it might be Alt on the Mac too. You might have to check with some of the buttons down there. And then just type in wiggle, parentheses, and then I'm going to go with 2, 50, and then end parentheses. Now what this means is it says we're telling that position effect that we want it to change randomly at 50 units with these numbers 2 times a second. That's basically what it's saying. Now when you're done, just click outside of it and it'll be all set. So if I go ahead and hit play here, you're going to notice it's shaking. It's doing a little bit of a shake animation. If I wanted to turn that up perhaps, I could leave that at 50 and then maybe bump this to 6, so that way it's wiggling 6 times a second. So now when I restart this, it's going a lot faster. It's kind of giving like a really strong rumble, like maybe something's going on. Maybe you're inside the Iron Man suit and you're getting shaken around or something like that. This is a very helpful effect. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. Maybe if you're trying to edit a video and you have like a frame on here or something like that, and you want to shake it or something after something cool happens, you can do it like that. If you're trying to maybe randomize colors or something like that, you can apply it to a hue and saturation effect. You can apply the wiggle to a lot of different things and make a lot of cool things happen. Okay, so the next step here is to show you guys how to take this cool little wiggle thing that we got going on here, this shake video. It's only like, I don't know, 1 second long or something like that. But basically, I want to make this into a video that I can, upload to YouTube, or, put in another video. Maybe like you're trying to compose something longer inside of like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut. So I want this video, instead of just being able to go to File, Save As, and make it into like an After Effects file to open it up later, I want to actually make it a video now. So in order to do that, before I do that, I want to show you how you can make pictures in here. Like if I wanted just this frame to be like a picture or something like that, I can go to Composition, Save Frame As, File, and then down here, if you click on the Photoshop here, we don't want to make it a Photoshop file, we want to make it a PNG sequence. Hit OK, and then I'll put it to desktop. Change the name here, so just say like picture or something like that. And then when you hit this render button right here, it's going to make it, and it'll be sitting on your desktop. Now what happens if we want to make this into a full-fledged video? Well, what we have to do is we have to go to this, make sure like your composition is selected. Go to Composition, then go to Add to Render Queue, click on that. And then down here, just leave this as best settings, because that's typically what you want, is you always want like the best settings possible. Go to Output Module, click on the lossless. You don't want lossless compression. You typically, if you have the option, you always want to use H.264 because it's the smallest codec you can use at the highest quality. So click on H.264 and then hit OK. Now, if you guys are on Mac, I think you don't really have that option. Try and go with like maybe .move or something like that, or maybe stick with AVI. You want to be wary about AVI though, because it's not always the best quality and it's very, very expensive in terms of memory. I always go with H.264 though, because I have that option. And then just output it to the desktop again. I'm just going to call it video or something like that. Save it there. And then in order to finish it, you hit this render button, and what's going to happen is you saw that line go across there, and then when it finishes, it'll make a sound, and then it's sitting on your desktop, and you can use that video wherever you want. You can upload it to YouTube or whatever. Now, the reason why it went very fast there's two reasons for that. The first is that my computer is very fast. I have a very good computer that can compute things or render things out a lot faster than the ones at the school. And then also, this was a very short video, only 720 pixels in height too, so it was pretty easy for that to render out. If you guys are making maybe something that's 20 seconds long, that has a lot of effects in here, and let's say it's 720 still, it might take you a minute, 2 minutes, something like that. It usually depends on how many effects you have on screen. I remember one time I was working on just a 10-second long video. I can actually show you which one it is right now. This 10-second long video took me probably, this 10-second long video, this one right here, took me, I don't know, probably 2 hours to render because it's extremely high quality. It's 1080p, and you can see I have a lot of moving objects in this video. I have a lot of asteroids that are three-dimensionally drawn on screen, as well as the stars moving in the background, this flicker here, this Voyager moving across the screen, another flicker down here. All this stuff can be very expensive on the computer if you're trying to make something pretty high quality, but and that on top of that, I think you can kind of see the blurriness here. I'm actually using motion blur on this as I'm animating it. But anyways, that's just to give you an idea of how rendering works, how to actually complete the video. All right, so again, that's it for these tutorial lessons. I will link you guys to some very good tutorials that you can do after this. If you don't feel like you're totally, hands-on with this yet, that's okay. It definitely does take some practice, and I'm sure that if you keep working at it, you'll be just as good as me in no time.